everybody. I'm Greg Fox with WESH2 News and WESH.com, and this is another in our series of debates leading up to the August 23rd primary to provide Central Florida voters information on the candidates in various races. Right now, we're talking to the Republican contenders in Congress District 9. District 9 includes Osceola County and part of South Orange County, including the Lake Nona area and a small part of Polk County. The candidates in this primary are Jose Castillo, Sergio Ortiz, Scotty Moore, and Adianis. I'm going to try to get that right, Morales, during this debate. And the winner will go up against the incumbent in this race, Democrat Darren Soto, in the November general election. First of all, thank all of you, not only for your commitment to serve, but also for joining us so that voters can get to know you a little bit better. We're going to give each of you 1 minute to open to tell us about your experience, why you're running, and why you think voters should pick you. And we'll start with Mr. Castillo.
Greg, thank you for hosting us. My name is Jose Castillo. I'm a Disney cast member. I work in management at the resorts. You may have seen me recently on Fox News. I was featured on many shows because I took a stance against my very own employer, whose executives came out and said that their new company goal was to repeal our Florida Parental Rights and Education Bill. I've demonstrated that I have the backbone to stand up not only to a multi-billion-dollar company, but when I go in Congress, I'll be standing up to political interests, lobbyists, PACs, and special interests, and standing up for our conservative values and for you. This district, Republicans have not won since 2010. We haven't had a voice in Congress. I'm ready to take your voice from the theme park capital of the world to our nation's capital. Thank you.
All right, very good. 1 minute, Mr. Moore.
Great. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, candidates, to be a part of this. It's a privilege to be here. I really believe that we're in a critical moment in our nation's history. Obviously, I think many of you who are watching, I don't need to convince. We got inflation on the rise. The power of the dollar is going down. Our kids are being under attack. We have parents' rights that are under attack. We really must respond. And so my name is Scotty Moore. I'm running for U.S. Congress right here in District 9 against Democrat Darren Soto, and I hope to earn your vote today. Thank you for watching. I am 43 years old. I've been married 19 years to my amazing wife. We have two fantastic daughters, Isabella and Sophia, and 14 and 11, and they're the reason why I'm running. And by the way, my future grandkids that aren't born yet, what about your kids and your future kids and grandkids? What kind of America are we heading towards? I really believe that leadership matters. Look at Venezuela and where they were at 20 years ago and where they're at now. Even consider if Governor DeSantis had lost, where would we be? Thank God he won. And so I really believe leadership matters. I'm going to be a strong candidate. And that's the reason why I'm running, is to be strong and to help save America. We really must take back the House, fire Nancy Pelosi, and save America. I hope to earn your vote. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Morales, you're next. 1 minute, please.
Hi, my name is Adianis Morales. I'm a local pastor here in Kissimmee, Florida. I've been working for my community for over 10 years in Orlando and 5 years here in Osceola County. The reason that I'm running is because we do need those changes. Our nation is under fire. We are in a very tough situation in only a year and a half of this new administration. I have been working hard for many years as the Central Florida Director for Protect Our Children project. So this is not something that I'm doing now. I've been doing this for years. I'm also part of the only curriculum advisory team that the state of Florida has in order to protect the children from all the pornography and all the inappropriate material that is being taught in schools. I am, as I said, a pastor. I've been traveling throughout the United States, also bringing awareness about the mask mandates and about everything about the vaccine mandates as well. And I am running here because we have a big problem. Darren Soto has been voting 100% in agreement with Nancy Pelosi for 4 years, and that needs to end. No projects that he has to show for, and we need people that know the community, that can connect with the community, and I've been doing that for many years now. So that's why I know that I will be very successful this year, and that's where I'm running, to protect our community.
Thank you very much. Mr. Ortiz, let's wrap it up with our opening statements here. You've got 1 minute.
Thank you for having me here, Mr. Fox, and thank you, Watch TV 2 audience, for allowing me to come into your house. I am humbled to be here with you, sharing our information. I've been in Florida since 1991. I've helped the community as a mortgage banker and a real estate broker. So one of the biggest pleasure that I have is helping people fulfill the American dream. I've also helped this community by fighting against the 1 cent too many that they try to invocate here in Osceola County, saving thousands of dollars to the people. I've been working during the pandemic. I delivered thousands of boxes of food to those in need. And I've been to county commission meetings, I've been to school board meetings, and I'm fighting against government overreach. Also, one of the things that I want to tell you is I'm like you. I've been to the theaters that you've been to, the restaurants. I've traveled 192. I've traveled Poinciana. I know the struggles going down Pleasant Hill at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And like you, we are being harassed and our money is being taken away when the taxes go up, when the gas prices. I feel your hurt when the prices at the pump has been going on and on and on, and we need to put a stop to that. All I want to tell you is I love this county. I've been working with it. This is where my kids are. This is where my grandkids are. This is where I hope that when my grandkids, they have the wherewithal to buy a house, that they will find Osceola County and this district as their home. And this is the place that I love, and I've been working hard for it. And I'm looking for your vote. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for your opening statements. Let's stick with Mr. Ortiz for our first question here. If elected, well, what is the first bill that you will file and why?
Well, the biggest thing that we have is we need to get our education system back in order. The good book says train up a child in the way that it should go, and when he's older, he will not part from it. And I've seen that the education system in this nation has moved away from civics. They're not being taught love of country, and kids need to learn. They need to be taught, not indoctrinated like they're doing now. And we need to bring this nation to a place where our children are actually being educated, that those who are going to college don't have to take remedial classes because they have their knowledge base is not adequate to be in college.
Okay. First bill, Mr. Castillo.
Thank you, Greg. Yes. So one of the issues that I'm most passionate about is our border security. And, I believe that President Biden has almost basically is borderline committing treason. Stopping construction of the wall, allowing illegal immigrants into our country, busing them into our community in the dead of night, that is treason. So one of the first things that I'm going to file, well, honestly, will be articles of impeachment.
Okay, Ms. Morales, your first bill that you would file if elected and sent to DC.
Definitely to protect our children. We need to work all this horrible agenda that is coming into the educational system. Our county is not doing good. We are really, really looking bad. Charter schools are doing better than our regular system. And the fact that so many things are being trying to be hush-hush, and if they're not coming out, there are things happening in our schools that are very serious. And we need a very strong school board, more members that dare to defend the children. And we need to work hard, because if our children are indoctrinated, and we live in a county that is 66% of Hispanics, and we know nationally that Hispanics are very conservative, and our children tend to be very respectful of what the family values are. If we lose our children in a county and in a district that is 66% Hispanic, what is going to happen to the rest of the nation? So it's very worrisome. And my first bill will be to protect our children and the curriculum that they're being exposed to.
So I want to dig a little more into this. I mean, we're talking about, as a member of Congress, the ability to affect education in various states. And then some would argue that on the local level, that is a school board's issue. So what would your bill say, or what would it do to then work its way down to the school district level from the federal level?
From the federal level, I'm talking because this is a nationwide problem. So it will start from the federal level. Definitely remove all of the books here alone. we have over 100 books, and we went to the school board, and 2 months after, only 4 books have been removed. But this is nationwide. These books are everywhere in the nation. And that's why we need to protect the children. And we need to start by removing those books. We need to start by making the right changes so this material never makes it to books that are inappropriate for children.
Okay, Mr. Moore, your first bill that you would file if sent to DC.
Yes, sir. Well, I look forward to being on the House of Representatives, the floor there. And the very first vote that I will take will be to fire Nancy Pelosi and elect America First leadership. I really believe that she represents a massive problem of where we're heading in the direction of our country. And we need America First policy. And that's the policy that I'm gonna have. Listen, I really believe that our kids matter and we need to protect our kids, but I also believe in states' rights. I believe the federal government is out of control and we need to bring it back into the states' rights issue. Governor DeSantis is leading well and he's doing a great job. Obviously, we're seeing that here. We need that nationwide. We need to stop the government overreach that's happening within our nation, and we need to bring it back to the states. That's the way it was originally intended, by the way. However, I really believe that we need to get back to energy independence. President Biden, when he first took office, the first thing that he did is he stopped the Keystone pipeline and it wrecked, and obviously we're paying massive consequences as a result of that. We need to restore the energy independence that President Trump brought us. President Trump led strong, he led well, and we had tremendous thriving underneath him. We had border security, we had energy independence, we had strong leadership, we had a strong economy. That's the type of leadership that I bring to Washington, D.C. And the first thing is we need to relieve the pain at the pump. That's what I'm going to do, and restore states' rights and get strong governors leading well, like Governor DeSantis.
All right, well, I'm going to go off script here a bit since we are started to talk about something I was going to get into a little deeper into the debate, and that is the fact that we're dealing with gasoline prices now. Of course, inflation at its highest level since 1981. We're looking at interest rates that have been risen again, making things just less and less affordable. Let me go back to Mr. Castillo. What exactly is your plan to try to right the ship, as it were, economically, if you're elected?
Well, it's pretty simple. What are the issues? Whenever there's a problem, I like to look at the root cause. So what caused this inflation? What caused this economic that's hurting Americans? Let's start with the lockdown. For once, I would make sure the government, that's not the role of the government to tell us whether we're allowed to go to work, to tell us whether we're allowed to go earn a living, to tell us whether we should get a vaccine into our bodies. A lot of the people, I work at the Walt Disney Company, and they had a vaccine mandate right after Jerry Demings, the mayor of Orange County, and said he recommended all businesses in Orange County to implement a vaccine mandate. A lot of the people at Disney World who refused to get a vaccine were basically forced to retire. That happened across the board in the United States. A lot of people retired, they left the labor force. So now businesses are trying to hire employees and labor is more expensive. A lot of people say, well, this inflation, why are you being so unfair to President Biden? Inflation is not just affecting America, it's affecting the whole world. Why are you saying that it's our fault? Well, basically here in America, we decided to print money we did not have. And if you think about it, oil is purchased with American dollars. When American dollars are worth less, well, guess what? You have to spend more and inflation goes up and it affects the entire country.
Let's go back to Mr. Moore. If we work toward trying to lower gasoline prices, one of the things that's been suggested is dipping into oil reserves. What do you think about that?
Well, I think this is a self-made crisis that we don't need to. What we need to do is begin drilling and open up just our entrepreneurship, the energy independence that we had. President Trump filled our oil reserves and was very strategic in that. By the way, they're not there to bail us out when we have bad leadership like this. They're there in crisis times. We're in a self-made crisis, and what we can do is relieve the pain at the pump. We can start drilling. We can start holding Russia accountable with the pipeline that they created, that they allowed, that President Trump warned about, that Senator Cruz warned about. And so we need to stop printing money. We need to get some adults in the room and start making some serious decisions on holding people accountable. And part of that means is making some wise decisions regarding our energy independence. Listen, they've got an agenda they're trying to push here, which is the green, and it's destroying America. We need fossil fuels for energy independence, for economic security, for our national security, and even our God-given freedoms to be able to choose to go wherever we're going. Look at California. They have self-imposed brownouts and blackouts based on the energy crisis they have. So we got to stop. This is we can fix this. We got to start drilling and become energy independent again.
All right, Mr. Ortiz, high gas prices, we've heard pipelines, we've heard drilling. I haven't heard anyone say that they would either protect or open up the Florida coastline to additional drilling or closer drilling to Florida. So, but anyway, go ahead, Mr. Ortiz.
Well, we are tasked with keeping a safe environment. We need to take nature into consideration and keep it as clean as possible. That being said, oil is the pipeline of the economy in this nation. If we don't have a secure supply, if we don't have, I just came from Texas and I was driving through Mississippi, and those petrochemical plants, they're idle. They're not producing gasoline. And that creates scarcity, as I learned in my economics class, and scarcity causes the prices to go up. Yes, we should drill. I'm open to drilling in the coast of Florida. And the closer we have, it's the better in case of an emergency. Event Horizon, the Deep Horizon, it was a catastrophe. That place was 60 miles from the coast. And if something happens, it takes about an hour to get there and start helping out, versus if we bring it closer to the coast and supply to our community the oil and open up the pipeline so that the oil starts flowing once again and the prices of gasoline starts coming down, and that will entail a relief in our expenses as far as food prices, gas prices. And if we don't do anything about it, pretty soon we'll have shortages. We already have food shortages at the store with the baby formula. Pretty soon we'll have the gas shortage like we had when Carter was president. And we don't need that to happen here to this nation, because of the leadership in Washington and Darren Soto going along with it, where they're allowing on purpose our supply of oil to be stopped. And that's their agenda. They want to cripple this economy, and we cannot allow that to happen.
All right, Mr. Ortiz, thank you. I just want to remind all of you, so that we can cover as much ground as possible here, if you can please try to keep your answers to 1 minute or less. Let's go over to Ms. Morales, addressing both high gas prices, and now Mr. Ortiz has brought into the conversation the idea that he might favor, bringing oil drilling or natural gas drilling even closer to the beaches of Florida, the world's most celebrated beaches. What do you think about any of that as far as handling gasoline prices?
As far as handling gasoline prices, I'm going to go with what we already know. We need to open the gas pipelines again. President Trump did an amazing job. I am the former Latinos for Trump director, and out of the 7 counties of the I-4 corridor, I was the director for Trump Victory 2020 for 3 of them. So I know exactly what President Trump did and how he brought this economy to a very strong economy where we were, again, respected by world leaders and many countries. So definitely opening the pipelines again. We need to fight to keep the politics out of economics, definitely. We also, that closing that pipelines caused a rapid decline in the whole economy of the United States. And we are in the situation that we are right now because we did not fight hard to choose good leaders in general. So we need to do something really big and start firing people at the federal level. We need to open the pipelines. We need to make sure that we don't behave like Colombia this weekend, that got a new narco president. What happened in Venezuela? We are America. This is America, the land of the free. And definitely we need to improve and give strength again to all small businesses so they can operate and we can fulfill the American dream.
Let's stick with Ms. Morales. Let's talk about right now, we've got poverty level in the district of somewhere around 15%, much of that in Osceola County. We already know that wages are increasing in the state of Florida thanks to an amendment that voters passed. It'll go up to $15 an hour in 2026. Mr. Castillo, I'm sure, knows this, that at the major theme parks, they've already raised their salaries too. But the fact of the matter is, rent is going up like crazy, and trying to be able to afford rent or any kind of affordable housing has been more challenging. So, Ms. Morales, first of all, what is your plan to get those wages up, get more business into District 9?
Well, right now, what we have is that the government is punishing us and it's pushing us into poverty. But one part of my plan definitely is the infrastructure. We have problems with our infrastructure. Lots of money have disappeared from the hands of our district. Darren Soto has to be held accountable for that. We have Neo City here in Osceola County, where more than $275 million are just gone. And that money could have been used for our levels of property. We have a good problem that is a bad problem at the same time. Everybody is coming to Florida, and everybody is coming to Central Florida. So the problems that we have with the high rents and mortgages and the prices that have gone so high so fast is the fact that we are free and we are in Central Florida, and the majority of the people that are moving from other countries and from other states are coming to Central Florida. So we need to work our infrastructure and just give more power to small businesses and get rid of everybody that has been stealing money from our district.
Mr. Moore, building the economy in District 9, what do you do?
Yes, sir. Well, I tell you what, leadership matters, and we're experiencing a leadership crisis right here, right now. And so, with the amount of people that are moving here, the question is how are we responding? What are we going to do? If we have more people here and we need to build, then what steps are we taking to accelerate that? And by the way, raising minimum wage and raising salaries doesn't work when there's out of control inflation and out of control rent. In fact, we're still getting penalized. And by the way, we're driving more, we're spending more time in the car because of crazy traffic. I know all the viewers here can understand exactly what I'm talking about. The candidates and I, we're driving all over the place, and we're experiencing it too. We're experiencing the pain at the pump. And so it doesn't matter if you give us a few extra dollars in a monthly or wage earnings, because we're spending more than that on food or lack thereof. The supply chain demand is a leadership crisis that's not been fixed. And so what we're doing is we have a self-imposed problem that can be corrected with leadership, and we're not doing that. And so what we need to do, we talked about infrastructure. We need supplies. How many times have we gone to places and they say, hey, supply chain, we don't have it? Feels like an excuse that COVID just continues and we're not fixing that. Ports are open here in Orlando and in the Florida area, but over in California, they've been shut down. That's a problem. We need to open up the supplies. We need to get things here. And so we need to have relief at the pump. We need to have relief in the salaries, and we need to start bringing some options for people to have affordable health, affordable cost of living. And that means building.
Okay. And again, a reminder, please try to keep your responses down to a minute. We'll go over to Mr. Ortiz. Same question, building the economy, raising those wages, bringing business into District 9. What's your plan?
Well, like they were saying, if you artificially increase salaries to $15 an hour, first of all, those families are going to be paying more in taxes. That's the other thing that they don't tell them. And inflation is going to eat up most of that. When I bought my house, I went from $500 to $1,200 in mortgage. And I asked my wife, I says, how are we going to do that? And I says, well, you have to change your mindset. And she says, make more money. And it's fine. We as a person, we have to take personal responsibility of our decisions to go out there and improve our way of living. I was working for a company. I opened up my own business. Been a businessman for years. So in order to bring more jobs, you have to make an environment conducive for companies to come, and also educate yourself. We have time to go out there and earn a degree, go to a junior college and build up our minds so that we can, instead of asking people for a salary, we can tell them, listen, this is what I provide. Are you willing to pay me? And if you educate yourself so that you can make more money at the same time of space of time that you're using, you're able to rise up from your mindset from poverty. You can rise up this country. You could do that. You can go out there and excel in everything. You put your mindset where salaries.
Okay, Mr. Ortiz, please wrap it up. Okay.
I'm done.
Okay, very good. Mr. Castillo, go ahead. Your plan for building the economy in District 9, bringing more business and raising wages, if that's in fact a plan.
I'm a Ronald Reagan conservative. I believe in getting the government off our back. Right now, the government is the one who's created this problem. Listen, at the height of the pandemic in Osceola County, we had 33% unemployment. Statistically, that's 1 in 3. So if you can just imagine stepping out of your house, looking to your left and looking to your right, and that means that one of your neighbors or yourself is unemployed. But the reality is this is a theme park capital of the world. This is a blue collar district. I actually did step out of my house and I looked to my left. My neighbor on the left is a housekeeper at Disney's Art of Animation Resort. My neighbor to the right is a cook at Disney's Riviera Resort. Across from me is a gentleman who works in attractions at Epcot. Next to him, someone who works with the characters as an attendant, so on and so forth. My entire neighborhood, blue collar neighborhood, we were all unemployed. And this was caused by the government. So what we ought to do is we got to get the government off our back.
Okay, let's change gears here. I'm hoping to get some short 30 to 45 second answers to this question. Let's first of all talk about, as we record this debate, we have hearings going on from the January 6th task force on the attack on the Capitol that happened in 2021. And I want to get all of your take on whether you feel like this is going to develop meaningful information that will be helpful in us understanding about the groups, the people that were charged. And when I say more than 800 people have been charged so far, many of the groups, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, have dozens of members here in Central Florida and many others in the state of Florida. Let's start with Mr. Moore. First of all, do you support the work of the task force, and why or why not?
No, because it's very partisan and they're not really looking at it as a whole. You can clearly see that it's a witch hunt, that they're pushing in a narrative, but they're also not looking at answering questions on why Nancy Pelosi didn't have extra security there when it was requested. They're not talking about how there's been narrative after narrative on the mainstream media talking about, hey, officers were killed and this and that, but they're not talking about Ashley Babbitt and how she was murdered and killed. They're not talking about the 2020 election and how the majority of Americans have significant concerns about that. And then even with the 2,000 Mules that came out talking about that. So it's very partisan. And by the way, most people aren't even paying attention to it anymore. Do you know why? Because we're concerned about the pain at the pump and feeding our families, the supply chain crisis that is self-imposed happening here. And so we need to fix that. And so this is just a show, and the Americans are ready to move on. We need answers to what happened in the 2020 election. And January 6th, this is a partisan witch hunt.
Okay, Mr. Ortiz, 45 seconds. What do you think about the hearings that are going on, and are they meaningful? You're still muted, Mr. Ortiz. Remember, candidates, please keep your mics unmuted. Thank you. Go
It's
ahead,
a
Mr. Ortiz.
meaningful, meaningless witch hunt. They're just wasting their times instead of alleviating our inflation, instead of helping us, the people, to get ahead, to move ahead. They're just going over and over and over something that we know it's a made up. Yes, people were there. They're only giving you one point of view. They're not giving you other people's. I've known plenty of people who were there, and they were telling me we didn't do that. Our group didn't partake in what they're saying, and they call it that we were trying to overthrow a government. When has a government been overthrown without a gun or fire? The only fires that came was from the Capitol Police killed one of our brave soldiers, and to me, it's a farce.
Okay, Mr. Castillo, 45 seconds. Are the hearings worthwhile or not?
Absolutely not. It's a sham. It's basically a third impeachment trial, if you may. Listen, I come from the business world. In the business world, in the corporate world, I had once an employee who was stealing from our company. HR, security, myself, we met with the employee, and we wanted to understand why would an employee steal from the company that employs them? Why? Because we wanted to get to the root cause to make sure we could prevent something like this from happening again. Is this commission doing that? Absolutely not. They could have asked the people who went to Washington to peacefully protest, hey, why did you come here? Well, they felt disenfranchised because we had governors, secretary of states, attorney generals, judges, basically changing election rules and laws at the last minute. The Constitution of the United States says that the state legislature is the one who's authorized to change election laws. Furthermore, are they asking the Capitol Police, hey, why were the barricades removed? Why were you moving? Why were you waving people to enter the Capitol? They're not doing that. So this is a sham. It's a waste of money. We should be focusing on fixing the economy.
Okay. Ms. Morales, the attack on the Capitol and the hearings, are they worthwhile in getting to the bottom of what happened?
No, they're not. They're a melodrama. They're just entertaining people, some people, because most of us have a lot of things to do and we're worried about the economy. The facts are facts, videos are videos. The evidence is there. Most of America has seen it. And we're just like wasting our time. The fact that Ashley Babbitt lost her life, that Nancy Pelosi rejected the troops that were going to be sent for security, barricades were removed, videos of staffers telling people to come in. Come on, America. We have eyes, we have brains, we know what's going on, and we should not be entertained by this. They're using our taxpayers' money. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. What we need to do is concentrate in bringing back our country and just making things right, and never ever letting this happen again, and never ever let people control what America is supposed to be thinking. We have eyes, we have seen the facts, we have seen the evidence. They're wasting our time. It's a charade.
Let's stick with Ms. Morales. A follow-up question there. Do you believe the former president, Trump, instigated the attack on the Capitol on January 6, 2021? And if so, do you support him doing that?
I don't think, and I don't believe that he instigated that. Again, I say it is all manipulation. When you study and when you go through the facts and when you go through the timeline of how things happen, there's no way that you can put blame on him. I don't know why America, I don't know why the press, I don't know what's happening in our country. People are not using their brains like we used to. That capacity for us to think for ourselves and make conscious and responsible decisions is being removed by indoctrination. So just study the timeline. How can we put blame on him when he tried to do everything that it was correct? And when the facts are out there, the information, we have heard it over and over and over again. And I think it is very unfortunate that we keep wasting our time going over and over the same things when we have the information, we have the facts, we have the videos, we have the timeline.
Mr. Moore, do you believe the former president instigated the attack? And if he did, are you okay with that?
Absolutely not. 100% no, he did not. It's totally a sham. Listen, Greg and the viewers, it's really important that you guys know within the history of the United States, there have only been 4 impeachments in our history, 2 of which happened to President Trump within 365 days of one another, and they were totally partisan. It is absolutely shameful what the Democrats have done, from the Russia hoax to this, and they're not talking about quid pro quo Joe Biden. They're not talking about Hunter Biden and what happened with the laptop. They've got the fake media on their side. They're pushing an agenda. 100% no. Many of us are deeply concerned what happened. In fact, what good is it to have checks and balances built into our system if we do not employ them and use them? We must hold our government accountable. By the way, that's one of the things that I will do when elected as Congress. Is one of the jobs of Congress is to hold our government accountable, and I will do that. CDC, Fauci, NIH, FBI, we must get answers.
Mr. Castillo, do you believe the former president instigated the attack?
Absolutely not, Greg. He did not. And there's something that I want to share with your viewers, which is a little bit unrelated, but it's very important for them. Listen, we're all Republicans. We're going to have similar answers, but you have to pick a candidate that can actually win this election. Our district, we have not won. A Republican has not won this district since 2010. We have an election every 2 years. We have lost the last 5 elections. Why do we Republicans keep losing? Listen, very clear. There are way more Democrats than Republicans in this district. There's actually way more independents than Republicans in this district. We are by the far the minority. So how do we win this election? You know, you're hearing our answers, and we're all sharing basically the same answers. So you got to pick the candidate that has the best shot of winning this election. We need a candidate with broad-based appeal. I want to share one last thing. This district is over 50% Hispanic. It's no secret that Congressman Darren Soto overwhelmingly is winning this vote, that demographic, and that's why he keeps getting elected, and he's running for a fourth term in office. This is a theme park capital world. I can win that vote. I can win the Hispanic vote, win the conservatives, and so basically that's the important facts that viewers need to know.
All right, Mr. Ortiz, wrapping up this discussion, do you believe the former president instigated the attack?
No, sir. There is no evidence that he did, and there hasn't been any proof that he has done it. And I'm going to piggyback with Castillo that yes, this district is mainly Hispanic, with the vast majority of the voters of Puerto Rican descent. So the broad-based appeal, you need to have somebody who can talk to them, to that base, and bring companionship. I can bring that. I have brought that. As a matter of fact, I ran on petitions. I didn't pay to be in this in this race. I talked to the people. I got their petitions. I talked to a lot of them, and even across the aisles, they say, yes, I will give you my vote. But what they're trying to do in Washington right now is to take away the importance of the people. We need to save more money, and we need to have lower prices at the pump. Thank you.
All right, we're going to wrap up our discussion here today. I'm going to give you each a minute to close. And I'd like you to, in particular, focus for those Republican voters in District 9, how you are not like the others in this particular race. And we're going to begin with Ms. Morales. Go ahead.
Hi, I would like for you to vote for me because I've been working for you in this county for a very long time in our district. I promise that I will continue to communicate with you. 66% of Hispanics live in Osceola County and 51% of them are voters. And that's right, in their majority, they are Puerto Ricans, Hispanics that are United States citizens, and they love this country. We love this country. I promise to work hard. I've been doing it for a very long time, and I know what I'm doing. I've worked many campaigns. I know what our district needs, and I am here for you. Vote Morales for Congress.
All right, Mr. Castillo.
All right, folks, listen, if you want common sense back in Washington, if you want a bold, strong, conservative leader who has a backbone to stand up for your values, to stand up for you, there's no better choice than my candidacy. I have proven that over and over again. If you haven't had a chance to see my interviews, please go to my website, joseforflorida.com, and you'll see how I took a bold stand standing up for our parental rights here in Florida. Also, yes, look at our social media. Go to my Facebook, my Twitter, and you'll see, I'm not afraid. And that's exactly what we need in Washington. A lot of the candidates and politicians, they tell you exactly what you want to hear. I'm here, unafraid, telling you what we need to hear. So that we can actually win this seat. I'm a constitutional conservative, and as long as you believe that the U.S. Constitution is the supreme law of the land, trust me, I will be in Congress every day voting for you.
All right, Mr. Moore, 1 minute, please.
Yes. My fellow Americans, I love the United States of America. I've lived overseas. My wife's Brazilian. I spent 6 years living in Brazil. And then after that, I traveled out throughout South America, Buenos Aires, Argentina, Santa Cruz, Bolivia, Quito, Ecuador. I speak Portuguese fluently. I speak Spanish as well. I know what it's like to live outside of the United States, and I understand the amazing country that we have. We must fight for our country. It's really important that we pass on an America better than we inherited, and we are at risk of not doing that. So the question is what are we willing to do to fight and to do that, and who will be the best person? You can jump on to ScottyMooreForCongress.com, Scotty with a Y. We got yard signs. You can get yard signs right there. We're ready to go. I need your help. Social media, you'll clearly see that there is one candidate speaking a message, and I need your help. Join me at ScottyMooreForCongress.com, Scotty with a Y. Need your help. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for the spelling lesson, Mr. Moore. Let's wrap it up with Mr. Ortiz. Go ahead. 1 minute.
Good to be with you once again. Thank you for allowing us to come humbly into your house. My name is Sergio Ortiz, as we have spoken. What makes me a difference? I did not pay to be in this ballot. I worked my, you know what, just like you, when you get up every morning and go to work, I worked my butt off to get the signatures that I needed. I've been working with the district for over 30 years. I've helped with the community. I've helped them suffer through. And like I said, I fought against taxes. I will fight against taxes again when I get to Washington. And I look forward to being your next congressman. I'm asking for your vote so that we can develop a better country, so that we can unite this nation and we have a better future for our kids. Thank you. May God bless you, and God bless the United States.
All right, thank you very much. These are the Republican candidates in Congress District 9, which is in Osceola County, part of Orange, a small part of Polk County. The August 23rd primary will determine which one of these candidates goes up against the incumbent in this race, Democrat Darren Soto. I thank all of you for joining us and sharing some of your thoughts to help voters make a decision in this particular race. And thank you for watching.